coming to you straight off the hip. I know I have to say the intro twice. All right, Stephen A. Smith been on a rampage for the last week, maybe 2 weeks, talking about LeBron James, talking about how much he don't like LeBron and all of that. And let's go ahead and just cut to the chase. Stephen A. Why is his big forehead ass saying all of this shit in podcasts? But when LeBron stepped to him like a real G, he had no smoke for LeBron. Like real talk, I give probably like real talk. Like you criticize Bronny, which that's fair. Of course, all athletes are sensitive to people criticizing them. That's in the media. LeBron stepped to you like a real G, and you got scared. That nigga stepped to you during a game, and you got scared. And then you go on this rampage saying, "Oh, if he had time, he would have swung on LeBron." And then he talking about, "Oh, I'm from Hollis, Queens," and all that bullshit. Stephen A., we don't give a fuck where you're from. We don't give a fuck if you're from New York, Alabama, New Jersey, and all of that. Just know Stephen A. was just scared as hell. LeBron stepped to him like a real G, and you got scared. You froze up. You froze up real hard. Like, it's kind of crazy how Stephen A. just going on and on, and LeBron now maybe one or two times said something about it. The first time LeBron said something about it was on a Pat McAfee show, saying Stephen A. was going on his Taylor Swift tour. And then I think he said something another time. It was with Richard Jefferson during NBA Countdown. When Richard Jefferson asked him why he did Stephen A. like that. But it's kind of crazy how LeBron James got all this smoke for Stephen A. now, but he didn't have that smoke for him when LeBron stepped up to him like a G. And then Stephen A. is kind of crazy. I'll give you a prime example. I remember I had a coworker. He used to talk all that shit on the job. And then my coworker used to say all this shit, and then one day I seen him. And then me and this coworker worked in different buildings. I actually got to see this coworker in person, and I confronted him and said, "Hey, bro." And I wasn't even trying to come in like no street nigga, which I'm not no street nigga, none of that. I just said, "Hey, bro, what was the animosity you had towards me?" And that boy moonwalked faster than Michael Jackson on his comment. He said, "Oh, bro, I was just having a bad day, day." And I thought, that boy pussy. That boy pussy. A dude that's not like dude like me, that's not trying to claim to be a tough guy, confronted the dude and he moonwalked faster than Michael Jackson. That man backpedaled so quick, it was crazy. It was like crazy work. That's how Stephen A. did with LeBron. That's how he did. He did all that shit talking. LeBron came up to him. Stephen A. froze up in that Laker game. Scared. You could tell Stephen A. was scared. You could tell that boy hands was shaking. And LeBron came right up to him in his face. And then Stephen A. doing all of this talk to my son. "Oh, I didn't have time. I didn't know what was going on." I say, and then it's crazy work how Stephen A. is doing this. But it's so funny how Stephen A. now going around. But what's going to happen? I already know what's going to happen. Stephen A. going to go to a Laker game again. And LeBron going to come right up on his ass again and say, "What that shit you said?" Or Rich Paul going to step to Stephen A. right in his face. Now Stephen A. be capping. Remember that last year, I think the year before last, or I think last year, when Stephen A. was on Gilbert Arenas' podcast, and then he talked about a debate he had with Rich Paul about Michael Jordan and LeBron, and then Stephen A. over exaggerated, talking about how he checked Rich Paul. What Rich Paul do? He gave that man a phone call, mafia style. And what did Stephen A. do that next day? Changed his tone. So don't believe the hype what Stephen A. is doing, bro. He is not about that life. So let's just be real. He's a media guy. He makes hundreds of millions of dollars doing media. He don't have to try to act tough. He don't have to do that. But it's kind of crazy about how he just going on and saying he got all this smoke for LeBron, but he really don't in real life. But it's gonna happen. Watch, it's gonna happen. It is going to happen. That watch LeBron gonna cross paths with Stephen A. again in person. He's either gonna be at a Laker game, or it's gonna be at the All Star break, or it's gonna be during the playoffs, or it's gonna be in March Madness in one of those college basketball games. And watch, you're gonna see either LeBron step to him again or Rich Paul step to him. And watch that man Stephen A freezes up. Now, Shannon Sharp, I got full respect for Shannon Sharp because when Steven Adams try to bully Shannon Sharp said, "Hold on, bro. Hold on. Who are you talking to?" So I respect Shannon Sharp. That show you Shannon Sharp don't care. He was gonna, even though he almost 60. Shannon Sharp was like, wait a minute, hold on, you ain't gonna talk to me crazy. Stephen A, he a hoe. Stephen A, a straight hoe. I love Stephen A as a commentator, but he a straight hoe. He should not be getting on these podcasts talking crazy. But he about that life. He a straight hoe. You don't freeze up when a nigga confront you and then you do whole activity going on podcasts is talking about how much you got smoke for a nigga. But what's gonna happen? It's gonna come back to him again. LeBron or either LeBron, like I said, LeBron or Rich Paul is gonna step to that man again in person, and we gonna see it on camera, and we gonna see how Stephen A. freezes up. We gonna see. We gonna see. It's gonna be funny too. And then when it happened again, Stephen A. got that dumbass look on his face. Everybody gonna be laughing at him like, "See, you a hoe. You froze up again." So it is what it is. Like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me what you think about this whole Stephen A. Smith and LeBron James situation. It's kind of funny. It's kind of like a little mini internet soap opera. This your boy Miss TV. I'm out.